Hands down, best thing about Master Duel. Rabbi munching his strawberry.
Aye. Subscribe.
Okay, so as you may have heard, Master Duel got a surprise release 2 days ago and threw everyone's life into chaos. I mean, who needs sleep, am I right? But as soon as it released, I knew I just had to experience the first day of Ranked, because what a shit show it would be, dude. You'll have people normal summoning Luster Dragon and setting Threatening Roar in Silver, somehow while getting paired up against full-blown Drytron in Bronze. My plan was to check out the different features, build my current deck, Melfi Dogmatica Tri-Brigade, and rush my way to the top. But, that's a lot of super rares and ultra rares. Sheesh, literally a terrible scenario for building a deck, although, thanks to the crafting system and gems literally getting launched up your booty pipe every 3 seconds, even this is no big deal. Ooh, don't mind if I do, thank you very much. So free to play is probably gonna be ridiculously easy, at least compared to Duel Links and what you were initially expecting in the first place. You can actually officially play Yu-Gi-Oh! Competitively for free, which is just insane to think about. We are gonna do just that on the channel soon, Master Duel from scratch, where we deep dive into the free to play experience and work our way to the top. But for now, I just want to play the game, baby. Everything just looks and feels so goddamn good. The graphics, the art style, the music, it's all super high quality, man. I love it. Opening packs is beautiful. It feels really rewarding when you get a good pool. However, for the most part, the pack opening process seems kind of pointless and convoluted for no reason. Getting an ultra rare you need essentially just boils down to pulling any 3 ultras from any pack. So it's kind of irrelevant unless a pack has like everything you need, which is kind of what they tried to do, I guess. The story mode is really cool. It adds a lot of weight and respect to the lore of certain archetypes, and it just showers you with gems. Although some of the translations felt a little off and awkward at times, but otherwise I really like it. Challenges are great. There's so many gem rewards, especially when you start playing Ranked, but of course I didn't realize this until after I spent a few dollary-doos on packs just to spam ultra rares and get my deck made. So now I just have thousands of gems waiting for the next deck, I guess. The Duel Pass, which I totally predicted, by the way, is really, really cool. I've never seen a battle pass that levels up so goddamn quickly. My only complaint about it is the lack of sort of custom items you get with it. Like, out of 100 total levels, you literally get 1 avatar and 1 pet, which just seems like nothing at all. That's just one of the very few little things I would change. Getting into the actual gameplay itself, like most people, thought it was going to be, you know, current format, TCG ban list, identical to present paper Yu-Gi-Oh! But, nope. That's not the case. This is, in fact, an outdated ban list from Japan, with Nadir at 1, which makes my deck a lot worse. Colossus, Harp, Electromite, Block Dragon, 3 Ben 10, Buster Lock, Max C. What the fuck? This is going to be wild, and it's best of 1 too. How do you deal with all of that and no side deck? For the record, we are currently waiting on the new TCG ban list, which I predicted 4 months ago would try to merge OCG and TCG for Master Duel, which seems a bit more plausible now, eh? There's also apparently a few core sets missing, like Burst of Destiny and Dawn of Majesty, which means no Despia or DPE or Tenyi Sword Soul, which I seem to keep forgetting. Every time I see a Blind Desires, I'm like, oh, I should probably ash that so they don't draw into Moye or something. One gameplay feature that I am very happy they implemented is the fact that the game board is interactive. I don't know why, but it just makes the game feel so much more enjoyable while you're waiting for your opponent to finish their 10-minute combo and you have no interruptions in hand. You can click things. I just love it when things happen when you click things. A great example being the like button. When you click it, it turns white. Wow. Now, before we get into my journey from the bottom of the ranked ladder to the very top of the ranked ladder, I do want to ask, what sort of Master Duel content would you like to see? Examples being like gameplay commentary from my point of view, random quirky little challenges, you know, things like that. And while you're down there, let me know what deck you're playing in Master Duel and how you're finding the experience in general. Okay, so getting in at the bottom of the ladder, I had made my Dogmatica Melfi Tri-Brigade deck, which is not a great list. I'm just gonna say that up front. With Nadir being at 1, and Gamma being at 2, it's a lot less consistent and powerful than it should be, but you know, it's the bottom of the ladder, it'll do. I think we can deal with a normal summoned Luster Dragon. We just want to play the game. And play the game we did. In fact, a 17 win streak from the beginning. We're almost calling in a tactical nuke on Master Duel, for God's sake. But yeah, it genuinely felt like the bottom tables of sort of like a YCS playing against the randomest of stuff like Infernity, Trap Tricks, normal summoning Axe Dragonoot or whatever it's called, winning our way all the way from Rookie 2 to Gold 5, and then we get hit with our first loss and a taste of the best of one format that would come. Winning the coin toss against Metaphys, we go first and we see double Nerval, double Maxi, and Called by the Grave. So not a great hand in general, probably like 2 interruptions plus Maxi, hopefully drawing into other interruptions against an unknown deck. But with that deck being Metaphys, a deck that doesn't really special summon, so Maxi is kind of useless. They banish everything anyway, so Called by the Grave is kind of useless. And they play Dimension Fisher, which is a floodgate that banishes every monster, completely screwing over our deck. So we got hard countered with this hand. And that is kind of what a best of one format sort of develops into as you get towards the higher levels of gameplay. I mean, even in gold, you can sort of rely on your deck's main engine to see you through to the platinum grind. Mainly because gold seems to be bugged or something where you just go straight from gold 4 to literally platinum 5 and skip 3 tiers. But that is when the entire dynamic sort of changes and your deck is going to perform a lot worse than it was before. Now you have to take other decks into consideration. So your main deck building focus sort of shifts over from your main engine to your actual tech cards and hand traps. Can you out this board? No, but can you counter this hand trap? Yes, I have the counter to that. You know, that's what it all sort of devolves to. For example, I was seeing a lot of Tri-Brigade Lyrilusk and Drytron in Platinum, so I thought, okay, we'll put in Droll and that should be enough. But then I would get paired against Eldelich and random ass stun decks where Droll does nothing, so I would also have to put in Cosmic Cyclone, but Cosmic Cyclone isn't great against Lyrilusk Tri-Brigade or Drytron. It's all about finding that perfect balance while also having a consistent deck, and so I had to admit to myself in the Platinum ranks that the Dogmatica package had to be replaced. So in a format where you have to find a mix between your engine and some very specific counter cards, I thought Pot of Prosperity was just ridiculously insane. At worst, it baits like an Ash Blossom, but at best, if you have counter cards already, you're digging for engine pieces, or if you already have engine, you're digging for counter cards like Ash Blossom to counter a Maxi, for example. So I feel like draw power, I mean, you're not really drawing, but you know, same kind of concept. I feel like that is very good in a best of one format. And so this is the list that I sort of finally decided on, and this is the list that got us to the Platinum 1 rank. I'm not saying it's the best deck, I'm not even saying it's a good deck compared to the rest of the top tier decks in the format right now, honestly, but it worked for me. And the final game between getting from Plat 2 into the Plat 1 rank was against Dragon Maid, and it was so tense, dude. Dragon Maid is actually apparently a pretty good anti-meta pick for this ban list, but yeah, we win the coin toss and we go first, but we see an absolute garbage hand. Puppies are only play, so I keep it in hand to keep Gam alive, and we just pass turn on nothing. Our OCG opponent starts by setting 1 and normal summoning Chamber Dragon Maid, activating its effect, so obvious Gamma here. We don't want to get hit by a Tidying when we have so little plays available to us. So that resolves, summoning Driver from hand unfortunately and destroying the Chamber, and then we see Pot of Prosperity coming down, banishing 6. So at this point, it was clear that we're not against Dragon Link, which was my original thought. There's a few good cards in that pile of 6, but our opponent does choose to add the second Chamber Dragon Maid to hand before activating Dragon Maid Changeover, the fusion spell. We kind of have to chain the Maxi here because we need to draw into a play, and this is a guaranteed draw as well, but we're going to see the Xiao coming out, which is an Omni Negate, which could be a little bit of a problem for us. Also, I'm a huge fan of how it presents all the animations. It's very clear what's going on, but on the Summon a Xiao, we draw into a Nerval, which is okay, but it's not enough by itself. And then our opponent passes, and we draw a Pot of Prosperity for turn, which is really, really good. Of course, in the standby phase, Xiao activates to revive a Chamber, which then searches for a Dragon Maid Hospitality, which is basically like a Monster Reborn for Dragon Maids. So firing off the pot, we banish 3 useless cards, and of course, that gets met with the negate on Xiao, allowing us to then normal summon Nerval and play from there. After the negate, Xiao tags out into House Dragon Maid, and so we normal summon Nerval, link into Almirage and get a search, but our opponent chains Imperm, targeting Almirage. I assume the thought process behind this was that our opponent expected us to not know how Dragon Maids work, and by that I mean the fact that they sort of do everything in the battle phase. So they negate the Almirage to potentially prevent me from protecting myself from the House Dragon Maid destruction, but joke's on them, we're not going to do anything with the battle phase, we're just going to avoid it. Summon Kairos by discarding our Hedgehog, we can summon double Dragon Lords, who can then bounce House Dragon Maid back to the extra deck, and we pass turn summoning Puppy in the end phase. So this gives us essentially a pop and a bounce with Puppy and double Dragon Lords, but if we need to, we can tag Puppy out into like a kit or something for a follow-up play. But our opponent activates Hospitality, Revive, and Chamber. Chamber searches for Welcome, and Welcome gets activated, adding back a changeover because they have 2 Dragon Maid monsters. I'm kind of surprised they haven't searched for like a singular tidying at this point, but I guess they kind of want to keep sort of cycling out the negate. But we see a 3rd Chamber Dragon Maid getting normal summoned, and then Dragon Shrine dumps Tinkek. They go into the battle phase and at the start try to activate Chamber's effect, but it has to bounce itself to the hand to resolve that effect, so we chain double Dragon Lords, getting rid of Karas to bounce it to the hand, and save our ass. I didn't activate Puppy on the normal summon of Chamber because I thought they were going to bring out Xiao, and so I was saving Puppy and double Dragon Lords to bypass that negate. Drawn for turn, we see Called By, which is useless, and just have to pass turn after setting it. So even at this point, it's not looking great for us. We're sort of just remaining in the game by the skin of our teeth. Chamber comes down again, but this time we do activate the Puppy, and it gets ashed, which is kind of annoying, but the Called By comes in clutch here, banishing that and allowing Puppy to resolve. Now, we know their last card in hand is the changeover that they added earlier, and they still have Welcome live, so they can add back a card from the graveyard, meaning they're still going to get to the negate anyway. We summon Kit, and they search for another Hospitality off of the Chamber. Once again, I still don't know why they haven't searched for a tidying at this point, but Welcome adds back the big nurse form, and then they change over into the Xiao with one of the chambers. So at this point, we know for a fact they don't have any other kind of interruption outside of the Xiao, and we can force the negate on the Xiao with double Dragon Lords. Our board will get cleared, but we will survive and get a follow-up off of the kit. So going into the battle phase, they tag out the chamber at the start for a Tinkek, and then we activate double Dragon Lords, target and Xiao to force out that negate and have him tag out into the house Dragon Maid. Now we sent double Dragon Lords for the cost there rather than kit, because if we send kit and double Dragon Lords gets negated, we have nothing on board and we take a lot of damage. Not that it actually would have mattered in the end, but you know, it's just little things like that that you have to take into consideration sometimes. But dumping Nerval off the kit effect, we get another kit to hand and take 3,000 to the face off of Tinkek, and it's over to us where we draw Imperm. In our standby phase, House Dragon Maid attempts to special a Dragon Maid from hand or graveyard, but we stop that with the Imperm, and that's one less body for us to worry about. Now we have the perfect opportunity to go in for that OTK. There's no interruption for us to worry about, so we normal summon Kit and banish 3 materials from the grave, non-link monsters, which is important here, summon the Rugal, and link into the big boy himself, Access Code Talker. This card is just so nutty, man. It's actually ridiculous, but not only are we going to buff him up to 5,300 with the link 3, but we're also going to get the trigger Kit here, which is going to dump a Nerval and get us a search for another Tri-Brigade. We have used our normal summon already, but we have a Puppy in hand, which is a perfect discard target for it, the Karas. I think we just ended up having the perfect number of materials in the grave to pull off the correct amount of damage. As you'll see in a second here, discarding the Puppy for Karas, we banish 4, and we have to banish a link monster within one of those, which takes away from the Access Code Talker, but we get the banished with Shureg anyway, with 2 more link monsters in the graveyard. That's 8,300 damage plus a 1,200. Bing bam bomb. What started with a garbage hand and a sure defeat has turned into the OTK to go from Platinum 2 to Platinum 1, baby. We can finally curb the addiction and get a little bit of sleep and start working on videos and stuff. My god, I haven't no-lifed a game like this since like Destiny 1, which is just ridiculous, but there it is, Platinum Tier 1. Now with all that said and done, I initially thought this was obviously going to be an online replacement for current Yu-Gi-Oh, but that's really not the case, and honestly, I don't know what this is. Like, are they still just going to be 2 completely separate formats? Is this going to take off if that even is the case? It remains to be seen. I'm excited to see what they do with it in the future. Regardless, I definitely had a blast. It's going to bring a lot of people to the game. Once again, let me know in the comments how your experience with Master Duel is going so far. Here is my follower ID or whatever in case you want to follow me. I don't know what that does, but there you go. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Gravel road, I've been asked to slow down. Fireplace, do you